Well, Pisces friends, drastic life changes have been going on for you. Lots of this activity started really stirring up in July, getting super active in August, and we're carrying it in right into September. This is Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Pisces September 2026 astrology report just for Pisces. This is for you if Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign. So let's talk about what the heck has been going on. If you are not already aware, we have been in a Pisces Virgo eclipse cycle for quite some time. This started at the end of 2024, so every 6 months or so, deep things rising from your subconscious experience out into your conscious experience, radical change, major trajectory shifts, and then things kind of die down into the new normal. And then in 6 months, it happens again. So we've been going through that, or you've been going through that. We all have been going through the eclipse cycle, but it is a Pisces Virgo eclipse cycle. So you all in that zone have been feeling it. So now here we are again. August, we had just a few days ago, well, depending on when you're listening to this, but a few days before September, lunar eclipse, 4 degrees Pisces. Eclipse in your sign. Even if the eclipse happened in Virgo, it would still be activating things for you because this is your complementary pair. The duality that's intrinsic in the human experience can be seen in the astrology wheel. All of the signs, all of the houses have their opposite, complementary, opposing, synergistic, energetic, and this is what we're playing with on the earth. But it wasn't in Virgo, it was specifically Pisces. So you had a full moon eclipse, something ending. And maybe that information is still coming in. Eclipses are strange in that way. We do feel them getting stronger and the strongest in some ways right at that eclipse time. But there's a season where, like I said, it lifts, everything starts bubbling into the conscious space about 4 to 6 weeks before. That's why I said July, really kicking this up. Maybe even June, you might have started to see signs of this for that early eclipse that we had August 12th, which was a solar eclipse in Leo. That's a different polarity, but it's still affecting you as well. And then July got more intense, August, and these changes are coming in your identity, in your health, in your physical body, in how you see yourself, in how the world sees you, in your relationship with yourself, your autonomy, your dependency or autonomy. Again, this like polarity between being autonomous and dependent and codependent and interdependent. Your relationships have been activated. And that story of activation is continuing as we have the sun, Mercury, the new moon on September 10th at 18 degrees of Virgo. All the Virgo energy is flooding your 7th house of partnerships and relationships, which, like I said, is in that polarity to the Pisces placement, which is in your 1st house when we run this chart. Now, for you sun sign friends, this Pisces on the ascendant is a solar chart, but it's another layer of your truth. If you watch for your rising sign, which I always recommend you do, you'll have your rising sign on the ascendant, and that will be a different layer of your astrological experience. That's why when you watch for your sun and your rising and your moon, you're getting different layers of your complex, personal, unique picture. But either way, whether it's your rising or your sun or your moon, this energetic is your 1st and 7th house. And this is me versus we. Your entrenchment with other people, the way that you get helped by others, the way you help others, all of that is in a flux and massive changes happening there. Sometimes these changes are really, really good. And sometimes these changes are horrendous. And if you're going through that, then my heart is with you. I understand how these things work. And I know that sometimes the effects of eclipses can be absolutely devastating. And I know that they can be absolutely uplifting. And either way, massive amounts of karma clear at this time. Something goes away, something comes in. That physical law that tells us that energy cannot be destroyed, it simply changes form. We really, really see that at eclipse time. We see a lot of the physical laws really active at eclipse time. I talked about some of the other ones in the August report. You can listen back there if you're interested in that kind of thing. but things are shifting around. In the days around the 10th, you've got this new opportunity to plant seeds for how you want your relationships to be. The sun is there highlighting the best and the worst of what goes on in your relationship space. It can bring some truth to light. It can bring information as well with Mercury there. Conversations are happening. And this is a pretty good month for conversations, really. We don't have any Mercury retrograde mischief, not until October. And we are starting this decline into this Venus retrograde cycle. Venus will go retrograde in October. As of August 31st, we're in the shadow period. So this month is covered with Venus retrograde shadow period. I'm not going to talk too much about Venus retro because I will go off on a tangent and it will become all about that. I'll be giving you little tidbits each month that this is relevant, which is September, October, November, even into December. Things to know about Venus retrograde shadow period. Venus rules love and relationships and beauty and design and aesthetics and self-esteem and money and finances. Everything's going under a deep review. You're going to reconsider things. You may return back to things. You may have things flourish again that were lacking before, or things that were thriving may come under scrutiny or start to decline. It's all to ask these deeper questions. But the thing you really need to know is that you will very likely start having what I like to call your Venus retrograde goggles on. And when you have them on, you may not see clearly in money, love, design, beauty. So if you're not seeing clearly, it will lead to, if you try to make big decisions that are permanent, when the aspect changes or the transit changes, you may look back and think, what was I thinking? So that's why it's generally indicated to not, if possible, now your life may have a different flow, follow your intuition. There are other things that are happening. This is not the only thing. But in general, if you get a tattoo, you'll probably wind up hating it. If you cut all your hair off, you'll cry for 2 years. If you leave a relationship, you may look back and see it was the best relationship of your life. Of course, if you're in danger or if there's something, an extenuating situation, those are in a different category. But just general type of relationship stuff. If you sell something because you want to get rid of it and be free of it, you will likely look back and think, wow, could have made a bunch more money. If you're getting a divorce and you just want to be free of the person and you don't even take your fair share, you will look back and say, what was I thinking? Why didn't I get my money or my resources or my other stuff? So you're not seeing clearly. If you get rid of all your clothes and you buy all new ones, you may change sizes or you may decide, what was I thinking? So while this is a great time to spruce up love, to enhance your finances, to increase your aesthetics around you, and to kind of pay a little more focus to the appearances of things. It's perfect for that, and it will put you down that cycle. But here are my rules. Okay, I go into these rules in various places. So I want to give you a quick note here. Because of AI scraping and consumer patterns changing in the advent of AI in this industry, I've been moving massive amounts of my public work. I have hundreds and hundreds of vlogs, thousands and thousands of videos. I'm starting the process of moving a lot of stuff into my secret star portal. You can go to secretstarportal.com, and I actually have my entire Venus retrograde. Honestly, I think it may be one of the most comprehensive collections of Venus retrograde navigations anywhere. I'm not being presumptuous. It's pretty expansive. If you want to understand this transit, go to the Secret Star Portal, subscribe, and look for the Venus retrograde section. I'm giving you tidbits. I'll try to summarize the most important points, but there are so many nuances. But some of the rules that I figured out is you want to change things in a low stakes way. Okay, so you will have opportunities to make change this month. Drastic life changes are happening already. You may really be ready to redefine your style. This is your house of your physical body, as I talked about with this eclipse cycle, these drastic changes. You may really feel ready to do something radical. Towards the beginning of September, you're barely in the shadow period. As the month progresses, we're starting to get the goggles on more. You gotta call it there for yourself, but just understand the energies. The deeper you get into September, the more likely you're not seeing clearly. Okay? So if you got to do something radical, the earlier time of the month, you'll probably have the most clarity. And this is very much about how you're presenting yourself, how you're seeing yourself, how you want to be seen. So if it's in the earlier part of the month, okay, maybe drastic things, right? But low stakes changes are better in Venus retrograde. And the deeper we get into Venus retrograde, the better this is. So you get a henna tattoo in the same place with the same design that you want to get a regular tattoo. Then you've got your 4 months to decide, do you want to have a tattoo? Do you like it there? Is that what you would do? And then when the star is clear, then you can make your bigger decision. So you see low stakes. That's one of the big things to know for this next 4 months. And it's really starting now. Easily changeable things go along with low stakes. If, for instance, someone comes to you and wants to sell your product, I had this happen to me, okay? So I'm giving you this example. And they say, I just want to sell your product. I'm an affiliate. All you have to do is give me an affiliate link and do nothing else. And you can change the agreement in a second if you want. Super low stakes. Making that decision during Venus retrograde brought me the most prosperous years of doing this work that I've ever had. And I knew the rules. If you partly knew the rules and thought, oh, big money decision, not doing it, Venus retrograde, and you just left it at black and white, I might have missed the opportunity. You see, so the more you understand this transit, the more you can see it isn't black and white, it's gray. But if the stakes are low, this person was an affiliate, right? So no problem for me as long as I trust the integrity of the person, it's in the same vibe as me, they're reputable, etc. If it's low stakes, the upsize could be high. Like you could make mega income. And the same thing for investments. If you've got some money to invest, you throw it in some penny stocks or whatever you're doing, it could go big. I'm not advocating gambling. That's not part of this. But if you have it to burn, if you have it to do with, you see, that's the essence that I want you to really, really get, because you're going to be wanting to make decisions. There is a massive amount of long-term energy in fire, and Vesta's still moving through fire. We've got Jupiter now in fire. We've got Mars, which is ruled by the fire sign Aries, and or rules the fire sign Aries, and Mars is trining Pisces now with its Cancer movement. This will be going on all month. You are going to be ready to do stuff. Sometimes Pisces energies will divert more towards inner reflection, thinking, feeling, creating, expressing emotionally. And now, because of all of these things going on, you may be ready to take all of that reflection and put it into action. So the more you understand these things, the more you can play in this game with the best outcomes, okay? So low stakes, things you can afford. If you want to get a massive material item, that could actually happen now. Look out to make sure it's not a money pit. I've seen that happen, where you get a good deal on something and it winds up costing you more than you expected. Sometimes people overestimate their capacity to make a payment and get a loan that they can't afford during Venus retrograde. If you're sure that's not an issue, you may get your best car that you ever got. You may get the best home or anything else of a material, value. Because Venus rules Taurus, which rules these material things. All right? So you can kind of see this. And so where Venus is now in Libra, it will get up to Scorpio, and then it will retrograde, and it will spend most of the time in Libra. So where it is now, it's going to be chilling there for a long time. And for you Pisces friends, that is in the house of Scorpio. This is a deep partnership house, this house that you have Virgo in, that we talked about, the sun and the Mercury and the moon and, just all of that, and the eclipse cycle, is partnerships, more plain and simple. Your relationships with other people. The 8th house is your relationships plus emotional entanglement, plus financial entanglement, plus, very deep intimacy and deep emotion and, karmic connections and all of that. And that's where Venus is going to be doing its thing this whole time. So this questioning about money, they're deep questions from the transit. They're deeper questions for Pisces because of the house. So you'll be seeing this all month. Jupiter wants to activate your creativity all year because it's in Leo. Mars wants to activate your creativity all month because it's in the house ruled by Leo, which is the 5th house. And Jupiter also wants to seriously expand your health at this time. And this ties in a little bit back to this 1st house. If you're not treating your body well, if you're not respecting it, if you're not taking care of it, the eclipses could show that up through some sort of event showing you the state of things. Jupiter, from now-ish until the middle of next year, wants to help you expand your relationship with food, with your health, with your stress management. It wants to give you more work that you enjoy. It wants to increase your experience with animals, if that's interesting to you. Expand those spaces. You may get a bunch of pets during this year. And this month would actually be a good month to get a new pet. The only thing you have to watch is make sure you can afford it, because again, that financial thing with Venus, you don't want to take on something you can't afford. So that's all happening. Then towards the end of the month, on the 26th of September, we have this full moon in Aries. Well, we already started talking about where you've got these long outer term planets, actually. Neptune's there too. So Neptune, Saturn, and Eris are all in the 2nd house of your finances for a really long time. Pallas Athena and Vesta are just passing through. And on the 26th, that full moon is passing through. So fullness, completion, fruition, drama, success, accomplishment, for better and worse, drama is coming to your financial sector. So that's going to kind of round out the month. And maybe this information will tie back into this Venus retrograde. So you see, we're bouncing back and forth because Venus rules the 2nd house. We've got the full moon in the 2nd house of Venus rules. We've got this transit brewing. So you can kind of see the stories of what's going on. Okay, so I've given you a couple of dates. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com right now in a different browser. Click on Unleash to get your free September star report with the best and worst aspect dates of the month and what you can expect from them. Plus, I do a really great write-up. I still do all of my own stuff. AI doesn't write my reports for me. And so you can benefit from that. Get your free star report at anniehelpsyou.com. Click on Unleash. If you are a late degree Pisces friend, so birthdays like March 15th through the rest of the sign, or 23 degree Pisces placements through the rest of the sign, find my Aries report, because you late degree friends will benefit from both readings. We'll do a separate in-depth full moon report closer to that time at the end of the month. And I haven't been doing new moon reports on YouTube, but you can actually go to anniehelpsyou.com/astrology. Or if you're subscribed on YouTube, I make a post, or if you're in my newsletter, when you click on Unleash, you will be notified when I put up a write-up for the new moon, and I have individual new moon videos for each house and tell you which one to watch. So I'm still covering the new moon, and you can access that way. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.